Okay, so I guess we're ready to start now. Hello, thank you for being here. So what I would like to start with is putting myself on the spot and putting everyone else on the spot. This is an experiential type of meetup, and what I wanted to say is one, housekeeping. This is participatory. This means yes, this means no, this means I know the answer, this means call me, right? Generally, I don't do raising of hands, just shout it out if you have it. It's a conversation. I will be asking you to do things today. I would like you to just do them. The secret is playfulness. Some of you who have been here before know what I'm talking about, and some of you will find out perfectly today. Okay? So just play and pretend and just do it, do the drills, get the skills, understand it later. Today we have a book, it's different. Use it how you may wish. I have a few ideas. If you're interested, ask me. So step one, I'd like to call up two people that I really, really admire, my mentors and friends, Catherine and Casey. More housekeeping. There's a camera. It's faced on me here. I'm the star of this show. If you're standing next to me, welcome to stardom. Okay, I will assume that's an agreement. If you change your mind later, let me know. These things are editable, I understand. Okay? So, Casey and Catherine, please. The two Ks. Hello. Hi. So, Casey is my managing partner here at Changeworks. She is the Changeworks. Right? And Catherine here is a laughter yoga instructor. A very good one, I might add. I took a couple of her classes. And it's really a great technique. I want her to be able to just talk about it. But, because this training has begun already, here's a question. In 60 words or less,
60 words.
Please describe what you do. But first, before we start, take a deep breath and start with the first part of saying hi to more people. Hello, more people. Hi, find a seat. It's fine.
No, there's one. There's one.
Oh, and there's a book. Extra book. Hello. I got some water. All right. So housekeeping. There's a camera on. If you're up here, I'm assuming you like to be on camera. If you change your mind, you can always just let us know these things are editable. In 60 words or less, please introduce yourself to the crowd. But first, a bit of exercise in power posing. Power posing is something I learned off TEDx talks or whatever. It's by Amy Cuddy. So, remember the last time you introduced yourself really, really, really well. And just stand that way and hold that for 2 minutes while I explain what's up and then give you your 60 words or less.
Okay.
Good. All right. So, power posing is some really interesting research that shows that if you just hold a pose for a while, you change your physiology, which changes your emotional state. They tested testosterone. The claim is it goes up to 25% in 2 minutes. Testosterone is a dominance hormone, so they did dominance positions. Personally, I like power posing. I like Superman and Wonder Woman and Spider-Man. I didn't think this through. I'm doing this on the spot. But you get what I'm saying, right? Good. Who'd like to start?
I'll start. 60 words or less, not 60 seconds.
Sure.
Okay. I'm
Because
Casey.
she's an NLPer.
I'm Casey. I am the managing partner here at Changeworks. And what I do is I help you to create the life you love.
Nice. Please.
Is that it?
Choose 60 words or
60
60
words?
seconds, it's up to you.
60 words or less.
seconds. Okay, I'm Catherine. Ha ha ha. I'm the laughter yoga teacher. Ha ha. All stand up, please. Stand, stand, stand. And we're going to do a bit of laughter yoga. Are you ready? So what I want you to do is breathe in like this.
Thank you very much. All right, have a seat again. Thank you. So the power is in the playfulness, guys. All right, just do it. Try not to analyze too much now. I promise you there will be plenty of that later. All right. So what do we do first? We check out our books, because I need to know what's important for you to learn from me today, because that's as far as I prepare, apart from making this book. So a good way to do this is just flip through the pages. There's about 42 of them. There's images and words and things and colors, and just get a first feel, or maybe you already have something you're at, you want to want. So I'll go through the room in a minute in sequence, and you'll have the chance to give your name to the rest of the people here at least and smile a bit. Okie dokie, do we have anyone who's ready with an answer?
What's the question?
What's important for you to take from our session today? Please.
Oh, okay, so what's important to take from the session? For me, it's very important to observe your training skills.
Good. What would that do for you?
What that'll do for me is it will give me the information I need to set up more courses for you.
Ooh, let's just call that. I'm just saying, it's great for me. Good. Catherine?
I'm just here to observe and see what you do.
All right. What?
What? When?
Good. When? All right.
How?
All right, easy there, Tiger. All right, gotta make this stuff up before I can actually do it, right? So, when, what, how, why, because. Hashtag finesse, man. It's in your books, by the way. All right, from the right.
Sure.
Sure. First of all, Arif is his name. Introduce yourself and then smile.
Okay.
Just the name is fine.
My name is Arif. Arif means genius, knowledgeable.
Love it.
Okay, I'm a physician by training. My interest to take this course to learn some technique or tools to control my mind and other people's minds. Very optimistic.
Love it. Optimistic is great. You know why? Because optimistic is great. I gotta use it since I already put it down on the board. The technique is called anchoring. I'll explain more later. But mine and others is great because what we're doing here today is do the drills, get the skills, understand it later. Today I will explain a simple little thing and then I'll have you do it to each other over and over again, and you're just going to be playful and pretend like it's working perfectly, and then you're going to go on home and decide what the hell happened here today. Good? Alright. Hadi?
Hello, my name is Ali and I'm a 14-year-old average student.
Ooh, I'm a 14-year-old average student who wants to take what from today?
Hypnosis.
From me. Hypnosis. What about hypnosis would you like?
To learn the skills to do like hypnosis.
Skills. More skills? Good. So, just out of curiosity, what would the skills do for you?
Like help me
Pause.
hypnotize.
I know, right? He's a hypnotist, so he knows what I just did. It's a pattern interrupt. But what I want you to think about is close your eyes for a minute, all right, and take a deep breath. And then imagine there's a picture of these skills and what you could do with these skills. And just notice when this picture appears to you and when it is in time. And you can decide that point in time. It doesn't matter. Open your eyes. What are you doing with these skills in this picture?
Helping people like people have problems like health problems, you can help them like break their habits, like smoking and these things.
Smoking is really cool. Smoking is the part of hypnosis I hate the most. Alright? I I've had, it's the part of hypnosis that I want to work the most for me as an operator, being successful in it. Unfortunately, my current statistics just don't measure up to what I'm looking for, but relentless determination, it will happen. So, helping others, probably with some smoking, which is good, because I'd actually be able to give you, weight loss, fear. All right, I get it, technical, love it. Healthcare. And this, you know what? Virtual gastric band is what I do for weight loss, and smoking cessation, and fear. What's the last thing you said?
Fear, so like if somebody has a fear of something, you can just take it away.
Good. For fear, we'll do two things. We'll do gray room, not because I'm smart and made it up on the spot, because really that's what we were going to do anyways. Gray room, and then fast phobia cure. Of course, you know, you're not really allowed to call it a fast phobia cure, but that depends on the laws of the country you're in. All right, Musumi?
Good evening, I'm Musumi. I have heard Nasser speak somewhere. I have read his book, write-ups, but till now we were just virtual friends. So today I just got an opportunity. I just wanted to see what he does. I was very curious to learn more about hypnosis. So that is the reason I'm here.
I love this, because you just allowed me to draw this. Thank you for jumping onto the train here. That's my Instagram handle. I'm the star, the Nas man. I love it. Okay. All right, thank you for being here. I did just throw this upon you a couple of hours ago, and you're like, sure. And I love that attitude. I love it. Mira?
Yes, so my name is Mira. I'm a lecturer. I want to take from this session and other sessions just knowledge.
Okay.
Because my goal is to make the world more idealistic and ethical.
All right.
And I have two of my students here, so that they're very interested in this topic we're discussing.
I put those two words. Do those make sense to you? Ethics and real or reality?
You're asking me a question. Does ethics? I didn't get it.
I wrote ethics and real to tell me what you just said. Is that good enough?
Idealistic.
Okay.
That's real.
Fair enough. Definitely not real.
And not the same thing.
Yes.
Not real, just ideal.
Idea.
Right.
Ideal, yeah.
Love it. I might hashtag it sometime. All right, and I don't know you. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Natalie.
Nadine, hello.
Hi. I'm here because she told me about the course and I'm interested and when I know what is hypnosis and like have an idea and to experience something new.
Okay. Nice. Thank you. Let's pretend I have eyes behind my head. Who's next? Skip to Hassan. Hello.
Hi, my name is Hassan and you can just call me H. I'm here because I'm interested in hypnosis and of course I could research about it, but then again, human interaction is a lot more better than a computer.
Oh, computer versus human. Human computer. You know what? I'll use it. Might as well. All the models we're going to be discussing throughout any of the courses you can get here that are NLP or hypnosis related will at some level tell you that the mind is like the computer. All right? That makes sense, but only because the computer is actually like the mind. The computer was modeled to find how we can make a mind work, not the other way around. Okay, so if you're sensitive about humanity and humanitarianism versus computerism and Terminator, you know, it's just terms. Let it go. They're just metaphors. Use them however is appropriate for the time and space for what you want to do. Which brings us to Abdullah.
Hello, my name is Abdullah. I'm an aspiring writer and voice actor. I came here, first of all, I came here out of tag along with my brother, but now I really want to get to understand other people more and socialize.
Okay. Understand and socialize.
three brothers.
He's my father.
Yeah, he's your father and you three brothers.
No. It's just
Right.
And, Ahmed, hello, how are you?
My name is Ahmed. I came here not doing what it's about, just not me.
I'm really good at what I do.
Off the street.
Technically, sort of, yes. You know, which is probably a fortunate occurrence for the both of us.
So,
How so? You're asking me. I'm supposed to ask you.
A touche.
Should you wish to share your stories, you can. Should you not, you don't have to. My work is free of content. My training is free of content. If you want to come here and understand the cause of disease and the root causes of why bad things happen, there's a section on the book that lists the DSM categories. You can check for that. I copy-pasted from Wikipedia. I'm assuming you all have sufficient Googling skills. I'm just not interested. Okay? So my explanations can be right. My explanations can be wrong. Pretty much everything that's in the research works the same way, all right? Cool. Human computer, understand what, when, how. Good. Stand up. Pick one of the people next to you. Extend your hand out. Shake their hand and go, alright? And now one more time to really understand why playfulness will work today. Look them straight in the eye and
I'm gonna shake hands again, I'm okay with that.
Good. Okay. So, demonstration-based techniques. Power posing. Out of if you were to choose a pose, would that be it? No. Okay, fair enough. And if you were to stand in that pose that you would choose? All right, cool. And what does that denote to you, or what does it feel like to you?
Confident.
Confident. Cool. Good. So stand confidently for a while I go through the table. Ali. Imagine you can stand in any way you want to and can. How would you stand now?
like this.
And you know what this means to you, right? This has an feeling attached. If you were to attach a feeling, what would it be?
Standing up.
Standing up. Fair enough.
Like I'm feeling that I need to stand
Good. So stand there and figure it out for a second while I go through the rest of the table. Mostly, if you could choose any pose in the world, which would you choose? Thank you for showing me. Keep it there for a while. What would that mean to you? Upright and straight.
Confidence.
Ooh, I like it. More confidence down the road. Mia, I like your stance now. What would you... Skeptical. Nice. I love it. In fact, if you were to hold a pose that was much more skeptical, if you wanted to convince me, would you have one of these going?
No.
Okay. Just stand skeptically there for a moment. Nermeen, was it? If you could stand any way you wanted to stand, what would you choose to mean through standing? Straight. Give me a feeling, any feeling. It's okay, hold that smile and just stand for a while. Catherine?
If I was to stand like this, I'd be thinking I wish you'd hurry up and go around this group because I'm sick of standing.
Hold that while you laugh. Casey?
I would choose to stand just like this at this moment in time because I'm very comfortable in this position.
Comfortable. Thank you. Is that how you would stand?
Yes.
Nice. I like it. What does that mean?
Nothing, I'm just standing.
Just stand. Standing. And just standing is good.
Feels okay.
Here,
Yes.
now,
Yes.
confidently,
Yes.
comfortably.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, I start like this because I feel power and I feel like I'm influencing
Power and
your
influence.
subconscious.
Oh, stand with that power and influence and subconsciousness, right? And just hold it for a while. You definitely influenced your dad somehow, right?
Influence you.
I will also stand like this because I feel like I'm in control.
Nice. And you like being in control? And today we're going to teach you how to remain in control while making it look like you're not in control. It's really cool. Just, play along. The whole point is playfulness. All right. So, modeling was the first thing we're going to talk about. Technically, I used my body language. Should you choose to believe me, sit down.
Nice.
You feel more confident?
Sure.
Have you figured it out yet? Straight and upright. With a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Like your smile. Yours too. Aren't you glad we sat down?
Yes, I'm so glad. Thank you.
Comfortable?
Very.
Just gets better.
Thanks for asking.
Just gets better. Now. Yeah. I like it. Good. Alright. Composure.
Perfect.
Nice. Perfect is just the way we like it. Excellent is actually what I suggest instead of perfect because it's more attainable. Smart goals in the other. It's all in your book at some point or somewhere, and if it's not, you can always just call me or contact me and ask me. You got my number and WhatsApp and email, and I have a sign-up list. Ooh, sign-up list. That's what I wanted to talk about. So, first story of today, sign-up list. It was supposed to be here for show and tell, but life didn't work out that way. But 2 weeks ago, I gave a presentation at Nurses Development Day. It was great. They had a Zumba person and a yoga person and all sorts of people, and it was a really fun, functional thing to do. And I was asked to go to the HCT college here in Abu Dhabi. And I was asked to present something for stress management and relaxation because the person who asked me had attended a couple of things I did related to those topics. But I was too bored to do those, so I didn't, obviously. What I did was I set up a new type of training that would relieve stress on the moment, but would give them most of the stuff I'm about to teach you today. I sold my sign-up sheet. That's how I prepared the whole thing. I needed a product. This is how I work. I created that product and I sold it. And what I actually had in my hand was an Excel worksheet created in 5 minutes. Now, the process of finally getting to create the actual sign-up sheet took more like a few months. But the thing actually took 5 minutes. I didn't even create it. I downloaded the template off Google. Thank you, Google. And computers and internet. Which brings us back to the mind model. All right. The mind model. We discussed a computer-based mind model. Basically, your mind is designed to do 2 things. Receive data from the world and express data to the world. Okay? Open your books. There's a picture of 3 gears. There's 2 pictures of 3 gears. One of them is labeled conscious, unconscious, subconscious. That's probably the first one that you turn to. In our model, the way I like to explain it, is that the mind creates movement. There's some research that I learned somewhere, but I cannot cite, that said that brains were created for movement, possibly an evolutionary way of thinking about things. In movement, you have towards and you have away from whatever it is you're moving. So there's a reference point, right? The mind creates this. We receive and express data in regards to what the world is and how it's supposed to work. But that's our input, supposed to work. And this is how it works. Your receivers, the devices you have, the tools you have to understand the world, are 5. VCOG, right? Some of you remember this from the last class. For the rest of you, that's visual, everything you see. Auditory, everything you hear. Kinesthetic, everything you feel, technically touch, but for the purposes of hypnosis, feel. Everything you smell, olfactory, and everything you taste, gustatory. Your devices, your eyes, your ears, your body, a couple of receptors related to taste and smell, a couple to touch and humidity and everything else. All those we group under feel, because who needs highly technical stuff, right? You have many more receptors and many more senses than your actual 5 senses. This is what research tells us. Every one is subcategorized and subcategorized and subcategorized. There's a lot of receptors doing your sensing. But notice your big toe on your right foot, and realize that the skin was always there. The feeling receptors were always there. You could always feel humidity or touch or pressure or heat or something. If you want to research the actual receptors, they're available online. Once again, thank you, Google and Wikipedia, right? But until I direct your attention to the big toe on your right foot, notice how feeling seems to come back. It never went anywhere physically, metaphorically, in the way we understand the world and how it should work. Until we are aware of it, it doesn't exist. Technically, it doesn't exist, right? So awareness is key in all our demonstrations. So, one more time, bit of an exercise to build awareness. Everybody close your eyes and take a deep breath. And as you exhale, just begin to relax. And I want you to notice your body language now. And what that means is your posture from the top of your head to the tips of your toes in this chair between us. Good. And remember the choices you had made earlier, whether it be confidence, comfort, or any other form, and playfully. Just allow your body to do what it does best. Adjust to the way you think. Adjust to what you think. And what you think is twofold. Images or sounds in your mind making up thinking, or feelings in your body making up feeling. So, as you shift your body now, shift your attention between the different muscles. As you get more comfortable, more playful, more confident, as you just relax because you finally got to sit down and you didn't have to kill anybody. Or just, if you remember, smiling, straight and upright, here, now. Good. Good. Just notice that the body responds to whatever the mind gives it.